like Trivium.
Sounds like Trivium from like 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
I really like it. I really do.
They're one of those few bands that have they kind of found where they belong again, right?
Well, Heathy had like an issue with his throat. I can't remember if it was polyps or something, but he had to have a surgery where he couldn't sing like that anymore. I guess that those times are over. Man, he is sounding just as good as he did 20 years ago. I really dig it.
Yeah. Man, welcome to the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast with Brandon and the dumbest motherfucker on planet Earth. For two reasons in one day. Yeah, some of you that might know me think, yeah, no, you're being a little hard on yourself. You're not that dumb. Oh, I might surprise you.
You surprised me.
First of all, so our friend Jack brings over some sugar-free jelly beans.
That motherfucker.
Because, well, my weakness is jelly beans. That's it. No other sweets, really.
Yeah.
I mean, chocolate. Fuck if it's around. Man, I'm going to probably hoard it and make it last forever. Jelly beans, fuck that. I immediately turn. I was like, I got to demolish all of them.
Just turn into a fat kid, dude.
So, yeah, I mean, no fucking kidding. I will eat like a half a bag sitting at work, to the point where then I turn into a child on Halloween night or Easter Sunday or whatever, where I just consume so much sugar it makes my fucking belly hurt.
And for a man that really doesn't look to consume sugar,
right,
you throw them motherfuckers down.
That's the only thing that's my Achilles heel.
To the point where I have to suffer because I want some jelly beans, and you're like, I ain't gonna buy no more jelly beans because I like them too.
So Jack brings over a bag of sugar-free, which you'd made the joke, like, well, I guess if we want to do like a bowel cleanse or something, which I know. I'd read the thing on the sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. If you've never gone on Amazon, and you haven't laughed in a while, get on Amazon, pull up Haribo sugar-free gummy bears.
Be sure to get and do the ones where it's like a pound bag.
Read the comments. Because I thought it was nonsense. I thought Brandon was making a relevant joke to some things that were kind of a little urban mythy. No. Actually, it turns out that's absolutely on fucking par.
No, that's going to make your butthole sweat doo-doo, man.
My guts have been rumbling all day. Since 10 o'clock.
But every once in a while, I will enjoy like a sugar-free energy drink that, just get me through a day at work. And by the end of that day, I need to get to a bathroom. About to have the water farts. I
don't want to go into detail, and I'm sure that you'd all appreciate that.
Sorry, I went into detail.
I've hit the bathroom 8 times today.
Regular.
Now, it's a cleanse. It's a cleanse, man.
Oh, yeah. No, you're cutting weight for a fight?
And I also made the mistake because I haven't eaten anything today. Well, I take that back. I did have a burrito. Somebody probably.
Well, I mean, that could still contribute to the problem as well.
Well, but I mean, no, but that was like at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock this morning, something like that. So, no, we're talking like a 10-hour stretch. There ain't nothing in there. Still acts like there's something in there.
Yeah, that shit is a legit diuretic in high amounts.
I would say, and I'm not eating jelly beans in small amounts. So, so if you're looking to do yourself a favor today, lay off the sugar-free sweets.
Have some real fucking sugar in your life.
Go all sugar. Just cut off before you get a bellyache out of it.
Yeah. You'll know when it happens.
And you think, well, you are stupid, Kevin. Hey, I got that beat.
But wait, there's more.
As seen on TV.
Ooh. Let's go to the tape.
So last podcast, we talked about my despair in that my Marshall amp is kind of AFU.
Yeah, we dedicated almost an entire podcast to that
because I was playing and it just gradually the sound just died off, down.
Right in the middle of you playing, yeah.
And I started turning everything up, and I'd get a little bump for a couple of seconds, but then it would just die. All right. And I was fucking immediately worried, nervous, bothered by it. We jump on, do the podcast. We take a little break during LJ's segment.
Yeah.
Which I think we're going to probably put that toward the end this time because he's got music associated with it this time.
Absolutely. So. LJ's segment will be at the end of this one, and you're going to have something a little special.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's far better to give him, a bigger bump putting it right at the very end, so then that way you can enjoy what he's
That's
got
right.
going.
I don't want to put it in the middle because I don't want to have to follow that shit. I don't do well under pressure.
But so so in the middle of that, I jumped on, plugged in my Les Paul into the amp, and everything was fine seemingly. And I thought, yeah, but I think my tubes are clearly getting ready to go.
Because you had said it didn't sound as powerful.
Didn't seem like it, but I'd been fucking with everything too.
Right.
Yeah. So then today I thought, all right, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to play Brandon's rig. So I plug into the orange, and I'm over there jamming and everything else. Fuck, it starts doing it again.
Damn.
But
so
that's
even when you plugged in, it worked for a little bit?
Yeah.
And then stopped.
It worked for a solid 20 minutes or so.
Wow.
15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
But that's when the Edison light bulb went on above my head, and I went, oh, I know what's going on here. Yeah, fuck it. There is no possibility that your amp head, your orange head, and my Marshall combo fucking both just shit themselves at the same time. Unless somebody's been feeding them fucking sugar-free fucking jelly beans.
That is true. That would explain it.
But that's when the light went on. I went, hold on, stand by. And I grabbed the Les Paul, plugged in. If you're not a guitar player, and you humor us by listening to the whole show, let me explain.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way.
A Gibson Les Paul plays through some obnoxiously fucking gritty pickups that are called humbuckers, but they're passive, meaning I just plug in and I go. Utilizing basically that setup, there's a small amount of electricity that goes through, powers everything. The output, it is passive because the fact is those pickups don't have as much jump in them. But they have a more organic, warmer sound. A lot of guitar players prefer them. Whereas my ESP has active pickups. They are EMGs. EMGs are the best fucking pickups that you can buy from metal. And if you're trying to make an argument with me, I have a dick that you can suck. But EMG pickups are actives. I think they actually are experimenting with some passives now, but actives are what they're known for. That's what's in my ESP. And that's why when I bought that Milestone guitar, people were like, you sure you want actives in there? Yeah, absolutely. I've been playing passive guitars all my life. I finally want active pickups in my shit.
And you're getting a guitar that is such on a different level that, I mean, fucking of course you want some actives in there.
Yeah, I mean, because I can play both kinds of music, metal and rock and roll. But so what the long story of it is making the long story short. Last March, on the anniversary of when I got that guitar, I went to Walmart, bought a 2-pack of Duracell 9 volts, so that way we could change out the battery in your guitar, change out the battery in my guitar.
Right.
I don't want to say I might have been under the influence of certain things, but I had it in my head I'd changed out my battery. But everything out there saying, wait, well, hold on, your Marshall's how old, and how often do you play it? Like, there's no fucking way, unless you're subjecting that fucking thing to being outside or something all the time, but your tubes are fucking done. No, it was a 9-volt fucking battery. How do I know this? Because I swapped it out, and I think everything's going to be just fine. Because the Les Paul is great. It plays just fine through the Marshall, plays just fine through the Orange. No problem. That ESP was the only thing that was where the problem was at. Am I an idiot for not considering that before? Sort of. But you got to cut me a little slack because, again, I thought I was only working on about a 5-6 month old fucking battery.
Yeah.
Because if you play active pickups, it's best for you to find a date, anniversary date, whatever, birthday, I mean, whatever, and change your batteries always on that date. Man, if you got regular gigs, it's going to be more than that. But if you're a home player and you play a half hour every day or whatever, yeah, about a year. I mean, that battery's going to last you. Duracells. Energizer will last you a couple months.
Duracell, the 9-volt of choice.
It is.
Okay.
It provides consistent power, and it provides a much longer window. Energizer has a tendency to really, really peak, but it also causes those batteries to burn out. I'm not a fan of Energizer.
It goes full bore until it's dead.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too. It's because you'll notice now I was able to plug in the ESP today. I'm playing for about 15 minutes before it starts this bullshit again. And then that's when the light bulb went on. But the reason I was able to do so is because Duracell will harbor a little bit of storage of electricity.
Right, yeah. It'll work.
know.
It'll, like, you put it down for a little bit.
Enough to
it'll work.
let you know. It's like, hey, bud, you might want to look into this. Instead of Energizer, which you've got power, and then you don't have power.
Yeah, put it back on. No, this motherfucker dead.
So between jelly beans and fucking 9-volt batteries, I might be the dumbest person you know.
Well, it went from being a $400 problem to about an $8 problem.
That's yeah, and that's a 2-pack of batteries. So, yeah.
Well, that's good, man, because, shit. These trying times and all. Who the fuck wants to go out of state?
Yeah, no, because I was going to have to take it over to Lubbock and drop it off at Tarpley. And because... Well,
You heard right, folks. He said Tarpley.
Yeah, technically I could have dropped off the one in Clovis, which I would always say is a bad idea. I was actually referred by John at McLuthier's because he doesn't work on amps, but he told me, he said, hey, if you're looking for somebody that does a really great job in Lubbock, he said, take it to Tarpley. I said, yeah. He said, no. He said, their electronics division, because that's kind of their main hub store.
Yeah.
They actually have real technicians there instead of dudes that can kind of offer a little bit of advice and change out your strings. No, apparently their electronics department at Tarpley in Lubbock is the shit for this area. So I'll have to keep that in mind. I'll lock that away because at some point I'm going to have to change some fucking tubes out. I would prefer it to be when I want to change them out and get some top scale, tag fucking tubes, which are about as expensive as buying halfway to buying a brand new amp. But
no shit.
They're really, really top.
You got a classic right there, dude.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. I mean, you go to changing out tubes, you're always going to get a different result every time. And a lot of it just comes down to the biasing and everything else. You got to get them all locked in just the right way. And Marshall goes out of the way to be as confusing as fuck. Port 1 is controlled by pot 2, and and port 4 is controlled by pot 1.
Sounds like a goddamn laptop or something.
It's a pain in the ass. But that's okay. But hey, on the flip side of it, though, they're easier to bias than anything on the market.
Yeah.
Because once you go ahead and you put it into the little bias tool that they have that they sell for $20, but you drop it into this one slot and you fucking turn it clockwise, counterclockwise with a multimeter and try to nail it between about 35 is what you're aiming for usually in order to bias them all out. So you're just tweaking it until you hit it 35, and but you got to have 2 multimeters to do it, so that way you're locked into first and second port. But
God damn,
it's a thing I'm not going to do, but at least I know how to do it.
I like the simple joys of farting in a bathtub.
It's the same as now. Just because I know how to solder doesn't mean I'm going to solder again.
The mere thought, I'm like, it just freaks me out. I know I'm going to fuck it up.
Yeah. Well, I just put it on there like a big old thick booger, right? Like a big metallic booger. That's how I solder. So.
The best thing you can get from me is if you got some copper capons, I will link some shit together for you. That's as far as it goes for me.
Yeah. So anyway, but so avoiding fucking catastrophe at all turns. Thankfully, so as Brandon said, it's going to be about a $400 problem, $300 to $400 problem. It's now an $8 problem.
Could you fucking imagine if you'd sent that away? Just totally gut reaction. Just like, I'm going to get this sent off as quickly as possible. I would get a phone call like, there ain't nothing wrong with this motherfucking thing.
Well, now here's the other thing too, is because what I would have done before that, I would have plugged it in, put it on the table up here, plug it in, and left it plugged in for half an hour. And then I would have come over and looked at the tubes, and you can see the tube that's failing because it doesn't glow. Okay. You're going to get a glow off of all the tubes. That's how you know, because one tube, when it's dead, it won't be glowing. So then it's like, well, that tube's bad, but you don't change just one tube, you change them all.
Gotcha.
I would have done that, and I would have went, what the fuck?
Everything's glowing.
They're all working fine. Yeah, no, so that's so lesson learned. Yeah, if you're playing through active pickups, go get a 9-volt battery right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
This is your conscience speaking. And change your pants.
What are you doing? Hit pause and go fucking put a battery in and change your pants. We just told you. Why are you still listening?
We'll be here.
Oh, for those of you that are not active pickup players. So anyway, yeah, we so crisis averted outside of the sugar-free jelly beans. That's still a crisis. But,
yeah, that is an ongoing affair.
And the ladies look at you weird when you tell them, hey, I got a weird crisis in my pants.
Oh, no, the back door, not the front.
No, I'm not talking about the front. It's
It's all on the back stoop, if you know what I mean.
Although I'm not sure why you would let the ladies know that you have a shitting issue, but
Oh, no, would you call it an issue?
Unless
Or
you're
just
bragging,
call it,
right?
it's just exactly. It's like,
I took 8 shits today. You must be my lover.
how many did you take, pussy? Oh, 1? Oh, good job.
Oh well. So the fun times of his life. That's
Yes, life is fun, isn't it?
so how are you doing?
Man, this has been a tough week. Of course, I am not legally allowed to give out names or anything of the fine folks that come to my establishment. But we had 2 kind of tragic things happen. A patient of ours I've seen there since I started back in October of last year, passed away from cancer on the 12th. And it was weird. It's a feeling I've never experienced what I felt when I heard that.
So it's got to be like the same reaction like a nurse or something would get, right?
I think maybe you might be right on it, because it just I was sad. I was like, really, because I mean, this was a good man. You know,
Right.
he was cordial. He was never a dick, and he just had fucking throat cancer. And it really didn't. We didn't find out about it until his daughter had come by and like gave us a fucking little in memoriam thing that they handed out at service that she had just been at.
Oh wow.
So that was really cool. And then it was also like, man, fuck these. There are some people that legitimately care about the people that work at that place.
Oh sure.
And I think that's really cool.
I think that's primarily going to be your people that are utilizing it as it's supposed to be in the state of New Mexico, and that is as a medicine, not somebody. Hey, bro, what's your highest grade you got today?
I'm going to need an 8th. Well, get the fuck out of here. We don't sell it like that. Clearly you ain't been here before.
Yeah, go back to seeing your dealer. Yeah.
And the other thing fucking happened today, and it really rattled me. So we open up. I'm in the green room. It's just me. There's only 2 of us there still for about an hour. And this older gentleman comes in. And when I say older gentleman, this old gentleman, like mid-late 80s.
Oh wow.
Feathery, long, white hair.
Oh.
Comes in, and ask him how he's doing. He doesn't reply. And I go around, because, I don't, like, fuck it, whatever. Either he didn't hear me, he don't give a fuck. I'll get him out of here quicker then.
If it's feathered, he probably doesn't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, when I say feathered, I mean like very, like silky, like very.
Oh, I was thinking like feathered, like out of the like 80s. You know,
No,
it's like this dude's
like,
rocking like a wrestler fucking hairdo from
Right.
1984.
I'm thinking more like every strand of hair this man has was shit out the ass of a spider.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot of it up there, but it's long, so it just seems very Gandalf-y.
Right.
And I get around the corner, I'm like, so what can I do for you today, sir? And he's like grasping onto the counter.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, I was like, oh, fuck. No, please, no. I don't need someone to die on me today. He breaks down into tears.
Oh, man.
I mean, bawling, uncontrollable. And I'm taken aback by this. I didn't ask him if he was all right, because clearly this motherfucker ain't all right. I just asked if everything was all right. Are you okay?
Right.
He would come in with his caregiver, and the caregiver might have been more than that. Might have been like a girlfriend, maybe even a wife.
Well, sure. State of New Mexico is very, very liberal in the usage of caregiver.
Right, yeah. It's like, shit, I'm technically a caregiver. And so we get to a point where this man finally says his caregiver had passed away like 2 days ago. And they both had very severe illnesses, but they were kind of together.
Right.
And this is the first time this guy had come in since she had passed away, and he just couldn't handle it. Because they were so jovial, fucking always happy, and now he's alone. And he didn't know how to use he had a cartridge with a battery on it.
Right.
He didn't know how it worked because she always did it for him. So I'm there having to explain to him kind of how this thing works as he's used this whole time. And it was getting tougher because he wouldn't stop. He was always crying.
Damn.
He finally was able to keep it under control as far as the explosiveness of it, but the tears were still going as I was trying to, because as soon as I untwisted that thing, he's like, oh, that comes off?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it does come off, man. So finally, I have to take my mask off because I want this guy to understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Get him all squared away. I haven't thrown the employee discount in there because the man broke my heart. And he goes off on his day, and I'm just fucking there like exhausted.
Man. Well, because, man, if it's all the way down to even little shit like that and he no longer has a caregiver around, I don't give that guy more than a month. I mean, I'm not being an asshole either, by the way.
No, that is a thing, man. I mean, shit, not to be even darker, but I'm shocked that my grandmother has been around as long as she has. Because, she lost her man, and after he was gone, she was like, that's still my man.
That's the one thing when people are in that long-term relationship thing. And I'm talking like decades. I'm not talking about a couple of years. You know, I'm talking decades. Now, it becomes that's part of your life. They have their tasks they do. You have your tasks that you do. Man, if they're gone, it's like, what the fuck? I don't know how to do any of this.
Yeah.
And that's
we'd always be in the middle.
It's kind of a weird thing because women generally outlive men. Generally,
sure,
most of the time. But that weird occasion where you get an old guy and his wife, whatever, passed away, suddenly they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean anything. They don't know how to do their own fucking laundry. They don't know how to pay their bills, maybe. I mean, it's just this entirely different prospect that can be really, really overwhelming and kind of hasten their end.
Sure. Oh, and man, if it had been the other way around, if my grandmother had passed away, leaving my grandfather, he didn't know how to do anything except work and come home.
Right.
That was it. He ain't cooking no food. That man barely boil water.
It'd be funny because actually then if that were the case, then by now you would actually have the cooking skills and I would not.
Wouldn't that be You'd be coming over to my house for some cocaine.
But yeah, that's the sad reality of the elderly, man.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking, and witnessing just someone grumble emotionally like that is very jarring.
Sure.
Especially now when things aren't that great.
Yeah. Man.
But hopefully he left that place feeling like fucking at least someone showed him a little compassion,
Well, at least he had a new cartridge anyway.
That's right. I was
had that going for him.
This will hopefully, it ain't going to make you forget, might for about an hour or two, but, it'll give you a break from the sad reality of your existence.
Yeah.
That's why I use it.
Yeah, I had a real bad lung day the other day.
Yeah.
And, that was... I can fucking see how people could break down over that, probably. But man, but on the flip side of it, though, once I was able to catch my breath, which took fucking forever. But hey, guess what? I turned to that cannabis syrup, that alcohol-based tincture, and my day wasn't all that terrible anymore.
I'm glad it helps. Actually, I might start recommending that for people that have similar issues that you do. Because
it just gets you really high really fast.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're cutting to the chase, and
that's what all this shit's supposed to do, really.
Right.
There are medicinal benefits in every little bit of that shit, but the end result today is like, you have this problem, you're going to forget about this problem for a little bit.
Alcohol-based, now everybody's different. Alcohol-based hits me in 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Capsule-based or any kind of other edible, it's going to be an hour, thereabouts. Give or take 10 minutes because they're fucking all over the map. Alcohol-based is pretty consistent, though. It's about 30 to 40 minutes.
Well, it's basically just a smaller flavored version of the Green Dragon. Although that has distillate in it.
Yeah.
When we did it, we're just like, here's the weed plants.
Yeah.
Get in there. Decarbox and ready to go.
Yeah. Man, let's get to it because we could probably just sit around and BS about our week all week, which is okay. I don't mind it, but I think there are people listening that might have an issue. But I guess let's consult or talk about the Mead side of it. We're actually going to go on another batch because we're supposed to get to freezing tonight. I don't like to start a new batch on the season unless we've had a freeze.
Yeah, especially when the gnats are a thing.
Yeah. Well, there's that. From a spiritual standpoint and a practical standpoint, and a practical standpoint, freeze. You got to wait for that first freeze. So we're going to be starting that, which is only funny because I'd had a thought earlier in the day while I was sitting around at work waiting to leave, as one does. But I was sitting around and thought, what would be the thing to do then? If I'm going to have to drop $300 or $400 on fixing an amp, let's do a very, very special batch for the folks out there. Do a full-blown front-back label, even neck label maybe, all, whatever. Do the whole, take it to the nines to fund fucking repairing the amp. Well, guess what? That's not as important now. So we're going to do a regular old batch of Mead coming up.
Sorry, suckers.
But the question is out there. I don't know. Have you got any ideas on or thoughts on what you would like us to do next?
Well, shit. The Pyment batch has always been talked about.
It's always been talked about, and that's because that's an ancient Mead.
Yeah. And we've been discussing potentially getting that liquid yeast in now that it's getting colder, so it might be a little more available.
I still think we might be waiting because this weather is wacky down here. We might still be waiting until. I mean, I'll order it. I will get online and order. The problem is it's going to be shipped from either fucking Minnesota or Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't want them to ship it out up there where they got a foot of snow on the ground. It gets down to eastern New Mexico and it's 85 fucking degrees.
Yeah, it hangs out in fucking Lubbock or Albuquerque for a day and it's dead.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened the last time we tried this. So I'm going to wait until the dead of fucking winter in order to order liquid yeast. We will do a batch with liquid yeast this season, but not the next one. The next one's going to be a standard D47. I mean, it's easy to just go a normal straight up batch one, no flavoring, whatever.
True. But when we do that, we normally throw it in the beast.
We do.
I don't know how hungry the beast is.
It's still all right. I mean, I don't really technically check the level so much as I do the weight.
I only tell by how it pours.
And it's still pouring like a champ. So.
It is, man. I think I only had 5 glasses on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Still pouring like a champ.
Yeah, that's so I mean we do have the option of going green, man. I would say Troublemaker. We still have bottles of Troublemaker.
Yeah, no, that Troublemaker is still a special batch. You know, if we go next Troublemaker batch that comes out of here is going to be the classic, red border, clear glass, plain shit. Because I don't know, this Troublemaker just felt like
because we decided to go old school and use the Cobalt.
Yeah, go Cobalt. And actually, a bottle of that is currently in Minnesota, believe it or not. The guy at work that had just recently bailed took it up there with his friend who recently got married and bought a house up there in Minnesota.
Oh, cool.
So they're probably drinking that right about now.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So hope y'all enjoy that Troublemaker, Adam and Company.
I'll say I know there are 4 in Colorado, or there were 4. I don't know how many there are now.
There shouldn't be any.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, Brett's one of us. I mean, that guy. If there are still 4, I'd be shocked because that means he's putting it away.
Yeah,
setting it aside for another day. But
that's the thing. You ever seen a half-corked bottle of Troublemaker left out?
No,
they're usually empty with the cork in there. Be like, here,
Well, even our friend Krista, she's like, yeah, because it's been a while ago, but she'd had a bottle of Troublemaker. She said, yeah. She said, I ain't proud, but I just drank the whole thing in one sitting. I said, oh, so you drank it like Brandon does.
Which means you did it. You did it normal. You did it normally. Beautiful. And we still got to try that. We got to get that coffee batch racked up in a couple bottles, I think.
It's turning a really, really nice mahogany.
Really fucking pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd think it'd be like wood based. Fuck no, man. That's coffee color.
It is. Yeah. That is nothing coming out of being inside of some fired oak barrels or anything like that. That's pure coffee bean. But as a result, and if you're a coffee drinker, especially if you're a fancy coffee drinker, and Daryl, I'm talking about you.
Hey-oo.
You know that there are essential oils in coffee beans, and I'm not talking a little bit of essential oil. There's quite a bit. And it makes itself known if you even move that 1-gallon test batch, because all those oils start moving again, and they all start rising to the top like a kraken.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to be pretty careful when we bottle that.
Yeah, so that's sincerely the case, and I don't know if it's one we'll even want to go large scale on, but it's certainly something that's been hanging around for a very long time.
Yeah, and if you hang out and you know us, you'll probably get to have a glass of it.
Yeah, I think May. I think that's when I threw that one together. I want to say it was whenever they had released the whole bean coffee bags for Eastern New Mexico University, because that's what I'd use. I used a couple.
That was like April, May.
Yeah, so that'd be it'd be the end of the spring semester. Yeah, April, May. So there's that.
That motherfucker might be ready for fall time.
I think it was ready when Brett was here. My problem was we got so drunk I forgot about it.
Well, but we also forgot to do a podcast, too.
Man, I don't know what the final numbers were. I think on a low-end estimate for like the 3 nights that the 3 of us were hanging out. Because it was 3, right?
Well,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, 4 nights.
Yeah, and we got started on Tuesday.
Yeah, we did. Now I'm not even counting beers that we drank on Tuesday.
The preseason beers?
I'm not even counting the ones we drank on that Sunday when you stayed home.
Postseason beers.
No, I'm talking about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 nights that the 3 of us were throwing beers down. A low estimate. Low, 120 beers.
Yeah. I'd say that's safe.
Was it higher? Yeah, you goddamn right it was higher. But, I mean, we were...
Just don't tell nobody.
And we drank all kinds of nonsense also besides that. So, I mean,
That is true. We had mead. We had food.
A little liquor. I mean,
a little bit of booze.
Yeah. I mean, there were a variety of... Yeah, so good time, absolutely. But we go hard.
That's why I'm glad that dude only comes down like twice a year, dude.
3 times. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So last year he came down July. He came down Thanksgiving, came down again for our birthday. So that was 3 times in one calendar year. If you're counting just actually purely by the year 2021, yeah, he's been down twice.
Damn. Got to keep it that way or we're all going to fucking die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't care. If Brett's here, I'm drinking.
Oh, sure. Well, if we go up there, we're drinking.
Exactly.
Up there's even worse because he's got a fucking liquor store, a little short, jaunty walk down the path.
So I'm glad you live out here, dude. If you lived in town and we run out of beer, it's like, I'm going to go get more beer.
Yeah. Yeah. But the one reason why we don't get to Colorado that much because he's got a roommate and she's got a normal gig. So I know what we do. We don't shut her down. 2 in the morning would be an early night.
That would be an early night.
And so for somebody who likes to rise at like 5 or 6, well, that's a problem.
Well, fucking pick your friends better.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's that was a hell of a thing. And hell, we're still talking about it, and it's been weeks ago. So
yeah. Made me pop an eyeball because of it, I think.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
I don't want to say it had everything to do with it, but it was a contributing factor, I think. I don't think I haven't even had a chance to talk about that.
Yeah, you got a bloody eye, and you didn't even get in a scrap with anybody.
Yeah, that's what everybody thought was weird. It's like, your eye's not black. I was like, yeah, because this was brought on by living.
Yeah, it's just you get like your blood vessels in your eyes, and if you're under too much stress or getting too little sleep or staring at a computer screen too long, or
I do
whatever,
all those things.
Yeah, then it might explode a blood vessel, and then in which case then you just got a real bloody looking eye.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan because I'm very eye-oriented.
Oh, yeah.
I will judge other people like, oh, that eye's looking a little bit about 130.
Just by hanging out with you, I fucking turned into the same goddamn beast because, there's a half Vietnamese chick that's on Instagram that posts, she's like into philosophy and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I follow her, and by God, that eye is a little offline, the left one, the left one. And it's like,
it tends to happen more with Asian folk.
Does it?
It seems to me.
Yeah, well, we're treading into John Gruden territory here with this topic, but I don't know. But I mean, this chick's is legit because I was like, I don't want to be really, unwoke, So I've been like kind of checking, all of her live stuff for like 6 months now. Now I think I can decisively say, yeah, she got a little bit of a wonky eye.
She got wonk. She got a little bit of that wonk, and I ain't talking candy. Shall we hit the metal?
Let's hit the metal.
Of course, we got LJ coming up at the end of the show, the main event. I looked at the releases for the week and whatever.
I have a bone to pick.
Oh,
I have
boy.
a bone to pick.
Oh, good. I have a beer to get.
So we sat around and went through, the initial thing we did when they had announced what was going to be on the Blacklist, the Black Album, tribute for lack of a better word, but by all these different fucking artists and, some of them doing the same track, 15, 20 times or whatever. But so we bagged on it and bagged on it. Then we went and actually listened to the goddamn thing and had to eat our balls for it.
Sure. Which we did.
Yeah. Like, all right. Yeah, fine. You know what? Actually, it's a great idea. Most of the bands did pretty good justice to what they were trying to
If
do.
more than half the bands did a great job, that's a success, in my opinion.
So my problem of one of the new releases today is from Tom Morello.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
I kid, of course. Don't come at me.
Tom Morello put out a new record, but even on Metal Injection, it puts it out there. Tom Morello's got a lot of pals, and he gave a lot of them a call for this new release. And oh, fuck this. I'm out. I'm already out.
Well, that's what happens when you're just a guitar player.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do this shit. And you're not going to get anybody that's going to fucking outshine you. That's why I got Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
That was a Bruce Springsteen slam, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That guy. I know. I'll feel better about Springsteen when he's dead. Is that a little harsh? But
well,
I mean,
when you say it, that means you'll probably speak kindly of him when he's gone.
When he's gone,
You'll be like, man, that guy.
He's still drawing breath. In my world, he's still a cunt.
He gave us Courtney Cox.
Did he?
Well, she was in that video.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was like, huh? Get the fuck out of here. He ain't her daddy, right?
Nope, they probably got carnal together.
She probably called him daddy. Yeah.
Ew.
But he's got it with that, a country artist, a reggae artist, a rapper. It's like, fucking, come on, Tom. Come on, Tom. So he puts out one. The thing I loved about what the Blacklist did, I hate Tom Morello equally for it.
It's a totally different thing, right?
It is. Because one, okay, let's call them what they are. They're both stroke jobs, right?
Oh,
One,
absolutely.
a bunch of artists giving a stroke job to Metallica. Okay, cool. I hate it, though, when artists like, these are friends of mine, and I want to cut some music with them. That's still a stroke job, but you're right there doing that music with them, and I have a problem with it.
Do you think Tom Morello hangs out with Bruce Springsteen?
I hope not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already not a fan of Tom Morello, really. But
I gotta admit, some of his guitar licks are pretty iconic, but not because he's a good guitar player.
right.
He just knows how to fucking manipulate a guitar to have it make sounds that people wouldn't normally have them make.
I mean,
He's a big fan of the cutoff switch.
yeah.
And
I was getting ready to say he's kind of, for his time, he was an innovator to the same degree that Trent Reznor was for fucking synths. But I feel that's actually an insult at Trent. So I think Tom Morello is a creature of what he was. I don't think he was exceptional. And I'm talking about him like in the past tense, but that's only
fucking dead.
No, that's only because I'm not going to really sit around and listen to Tom Morello shit unless it's from other,
Right.
the early days,
Yeah, but again, can you name another guitar player? It's like, man, that guy sounds like Tom Morello.
No, that's
Because no one wanted to.
That's right.
He did it. It's like, that's great. That is your thing. It's just like The Edge. Who the fuck sounds like The Edge? Nobody. Because that guitar sound sucks so bad.
I feel like I brought it up on this before, but man, if you haven't seen it, get on YouTube and look up this thing they did with Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page, God, who's the little emo cunt that really good guitar player? Jack White. The Edge. I'm forgetting the big third one that was actually kind of a rocker.
Oh, fuck. I kind of know what you're talking about.
Wasn't like Zakk Wylde, right?
No. Oh, fuck no. He
No.
would've been caught dead with those assholes. Jimmy Page.
Yeah, I know, but it was Jimmy Page. I thought it was actually 3 other guitar players, I wanted to say. Well, shit. But anyway, it's really no matter there. The thing is, what was going on, and these other 2 guitar players, because it was Jimmy Page, Jack White, this other guy that was actually turns out being a reasonable guitar player, and The Edge. And the reason I say and The Edge is because his was different. He was mostly just standing there with a guitar strapped on, looking on in awe at the other dudes.
Yeah. And because it showed him clearly as a fan.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't. There's one thing to show respect. I get it, but there's another one to know that you're out of your depths.
Yeah, and really, and that was at the same time, these guys were fucking talking shit about Guitar Hero, a video game. They were talking shit about a video game.
As it turns out, I was thinking there was another guitar player in there. I was thinking for a total of 4. It was a total of 3. So yeah, Jimmy Page, Jack White, and Edge. Edge looks fucking blown away. Just even his body language is like, this is a man that knows that he is allowed to hang out with his betters.
Yeah, dude, because he knows what he is. He might not fucking portray that to others, but deep down he knows what he is as a guitar player. If he didn't have that pedal board in front of him,
well, the massive delay on it.
So it's like he's plucking a string every 5 seconds, and that's a song.
That's his delay. Yeah.
God. Well, shit, I'd buy a delay pedal from the Edge if he had one.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. So who sounds like the Edge? Nobody. Who sounds like Tom Morello? Hopefully nobody. You know.
I haven't encountered anybody yet, but I don't listen to trash.
Well, there's that.
Ew. All right. Well, there's really not a whole lot else out here. Let's go ahead and let's see. We got about 10, 15 minutes. Let's talk about Jon Jones.
Okay.
This is something that has really grown, and it could be. I think it's over.
If you said a former light heavyweight champion smacking his old lady around, I would think Chuck Liddell.
Now on that side of the coin, God damn it! That was good.
He did.
Well, apparently the story is this on him, and then I'll get back to John because it's basically the same story, only really reversed. Apparently, Chuck Liddell was the victim.
Oh shit!
And
we know how his chin is these days.
But well, that's what he said. He's like bruised and fucked up. He didn't reciprocate in combat with his fucking wife, and apparently this has been going on for years. He just hadn't said shit. This dude might be a battered husband.
God damn, and a former light heavyweight champion.
Yeah. And it's amazing because it was either she went to jail or he did. He fucking was like, I'll go. I don't want my wife going to jail.
Yeah, that's a bad marriage right there.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's one, but Chuck Liddell is probably the type of guy that's like, I can save this motherfucker. Former light heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
The Jon Jones thing, though, has gotten so gross.
And by the way, another active fighter, by the way, got cut from the promotion for domestic violence this week.
Oh, yeah, the Mexican ginger. Luis
Peña.
Peña.
España, yeah.
Luis España Peña.
Yeah, he gets bounced. But anyway, so those I feel like those 3 will cover us for the what's going on in battered spouses out there. So what the fuck's up with Jon Jones?
Jon Jones, okay, we all know what he did, what he's accused of. Got kicked out of Vegas. Said, don't come back till your court date, motherfucker. And he comes back and gets banned from his own fucking camp. From his own fucking camp. I love it.
I think that's actually a good thing for Jon.
Mike Winkeljohn told him, you are suspended.
Yeah, I think this gives Jon the opportunity to go out there and find a good camp.
Yeah. Well, either
Jackson Wink was built on Jackson. Mike Winkeljohn came in. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Cerrone has gone on and on about it. Everybody that used to be at that camp that's not at that camp anymore will tell you Mike Winkeljohn's a fuck.
Well, and I really don't think, there's not a whole lot more that place could teach Jon Jones, right?
No.
So, but, I agree with what he did. Jon Jones.
Smacking the old lady around, letting her know what's up.
Those were Kevin Robbins' words. No, I agree with Winkeljohn being like, dude, we got to kind of do this because we got to protect our shit too. Your name and our camp are together.
Right.
And, of course, Jon Jones took offense like, bro, I thought we were a team, bro.
Apparently he's never gotten along with Mike Winkeljohn.
And when the fuck is this guy in being a part of the team?
Right.
Chael Sonnen brought up a really good point. He's like, you're a part of a team, but then when you shaft every member of your team that is going to get paid off that Ngannou fight because you want more money, you took money away from them, and now you're saying, oh, I'm bummed out. This is my team here.
Man, let's also point out Chael Sonnen's probably still pissed off of getting his ass kicked.
I think he knew it. I think he just went into that for the paycheck.
Yeah. Now, is he wrong? No, I don't think he's really all that wrong. But the other thing is that why would a gym suspend a fighter, especially a guy of renown, maybe the best living fucking MMA fighter ever.
I'd say that.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does the gym any favors by cutting Jon.
Yeah, but Jon ain't even there.
Well, there's that.
He's never there. Just like fucking Austin Powers' dad. He's not there.
And by the way, and I know that Jon Jones just scours YouTube looking for podcasts to listen to. So, Jon, if you are,
especially from what people call your home state, even though you're from fucking New York,
just remember is that you have a former teammate right up and over the top of that mountain down in Edgewood at the BMF Ranch.
Wouldn't that be something?
I think it would. Because here's the thing:
like cowboy training Jon Jones.
When does Jon Jones get in trouble? When he's in cities drinking.
When he's in Vegas.
Well, cities. Albuquerque got in trouble there. I mean,
that's true.
So if he's in big cities and drinking, that's when Jon gets in trouble. Get the fuck out of the city. Get drunk all you want. I don't give a shit. Or fucking start trying to earn coins or whatever and live in the city. But you can't do both.
Yeah. But this is asking Jon to go from being a prince to a pauper, and he ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
He's got that alley. Did he get that fucking guy to represent him now? Or I know he changed his team for his representation.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that Conor McGregor got into Ali Abdelaziz.
Yeah.
Which Conor's willing to get into it. Conor's willing to fucking, I don't know, entertain exchanges with the fucking Paul brothers. Like, come on, Conor, you're starting to look like a sideshow act.
It's
I gotta let the dog out.
It's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I really think, I mean, I don't really give a fuck about Jon Jones coming back to fight at heavyweight. I've already moved on. I want let's see, we're getting Gone and goddamn, who's fighting Cyril Gone for that interim belt? I already forgot.
Oh, so Gone's not going to get straight up shot against Ngannou?
Because they'd announced that fucking heavyweight interim fight.
Is it Stipe?
I don't know. I got to check because I feel like there's a fight on the cards.
Stipe, actually. Because that's the whole thing is Ngannou doesn't want to give Stipe another shot because who the fuck does? Look what happened to DC. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, and God, that fucking murdered. But, and especially after beating fucking Derek Lewis, man, you got him. January 22nd, 270. Okay. Yeah.
Which one is that?
Gone and Derek Lewis. That was the fight for the interim belt.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now, I for some reason,
so it is a straight up title shot?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. I thought, man, if that's another interim fucking fight,
my goddamn brain is like fucking 6 months in the past.
Yeah. My biggest problem is one champ that holds two belts right now. Because I don't give I don't fucking care what goes on necessarily. I do like the application and use of an interim now, which I'd never thought I'd have heard myself say that 5 years ago.
Right, same.
But it makes sense because your champs they aren't defending. They get that belt, that's it. You don't see them fight until the promotion says you got to fight or you're going to lose your fucking belt. And then, whoop, lo and behold, everything's perfect in the universe, and they're up for a fight again.
Yeah, and a fight they usually tend to lose.
Well, that's why. That's it. I want to reach the peak of this mountain and entertain the view for a few months.
And then I want to get an RV camper up there and just hang out.
You know, and and you don't want anybody knocking you off the top of that mountain. Well, that's what most of them realize.
Yeah. I want to bring up one more thing, and then we'll wrap this up because it's something I know what we've all, that you and I have fucking witnessed. Dana White's Contender Series.
Yeah.
The rules are out the fucking window now. What is now the prerequisite for you getting a fucking job on that show?
Thin divisions.
And as long as you come in and you have some heat behind you, and you win your fight, you come in 10 pounds overweight, you're going to get a job.
Yeah, that little
as
asshole.
Long as you're special.
A little asshole from England
Jake Hadley,
that apparently doesn't speak English very well. Because he said he absolutely just didn't understand. Because he said, sometimes things get lost in translation. According to Dana White, or at least what you could imply from what he was saying, is that somebody, a UFC employee, tried to tell him something, and he told him to fuck off. That's that's the implication there. So I mean, and that's why Dana said, hey, this guy in the future, maybe next time he'll listen to what somebody in the UFC tells him, and will pay attention or whatever. But so I don't know. I think there was.
I'm kind of hoping this kid nosedives, dude.
Dude
Really
came
am.
in overweight right after Dana White basically said he wasn't going to, that he would not take anybody that couldn't make weight. Oh, lo and behold, seconds later, here's this guy and he's got a job now.
Don't make me regret it, kid.
Yeah, don't make me an asshole.
And your fucking main event, dude blows weight, wins a fight. He's still fucking flipping burgers in Cali or wherever the fuck he's from.
Yeah.
What was the exception there? This guy didn't feel special.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake Hadley felt special. Well, we'll see. We're going to see how special he is.
Dana requires a pipeline, and that pipeline was Michael Bisping, who's now retired. They're not getting what they want out of Edwards because Edwards basically usually refuses to fight people unless he knows he can get a win.
Yeah, that man's a big pussy.
And
big pussy.
I understand he's a big fan of the 3-piece and a soda, but
he tends to eat him up quite a bit.
So they need an Englishman. Conor McGregor works in a short term for dummies because, England, Ireland, all the same, right? But they truly need an Englishman that's got some character. This fucking Hadley guy, say what you will, but he's got some fucking character.
From what little we've seen, but again, I just want Dana White to be proven wrong. Like, oh, yeah, dude, you don't fucking know everything about everything.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And apparently whatever he says are very important rules that he has to live by are certainly flexible,
Quote Barbosa from Pirates Caribbean. They're more like guidelines.
Well, it's... Man, you said it Barbosa. I was thinking Edson. Yeah,
Either one.
Shit.
I'm sure he said it too.
We want to get into the big finish here.
Let's get to our picks.
All right, what you drinking today?
All the Budweiser in the house.
Drinking some nice ice cold water.
You, sir, are a gentleman.
And some cannabis. Yeah.
That is a delicious treat. Jamming. Every time I felt like I wanted to hear a Tool song, it seemed like the radio played me one. I'm going to go hooker with a penis.
What was the one that dude... You know what? Actually, I might just go Perfect Circle, actually, now I think about it. Who was the co-founder of that? The dude that was the guitar tech?
Oleander.
Do what?
Oleander? No.
No.
That's a song.
It's... Goddamn. It's just weird enough
The
to be...
bald guy.
It's just weird enough to be beyond my reach. Yeah, that guy... What was it? From Ashes? Was that the band that he did? It's kind of like a side project that he was doing whenever Perfect Circle's not touring, which is basically all the time now.
Pretty much. Damn, I can't fucking remember.
I'm either going to go for that one or one of the what was the name of that second?
Billy Howardell.
Yeah, Howardell. Yeah. God, I can't remember the name of that second record. The one before the cover of Political tracks.
Fucking 13 Step.
There it is. I'll go with that tonight.
That is probably their best album.
It is. And it's the one I'm least familiar with, so I feel like I'm getting a treat whenever I throw it on.
Yeah. However, Murder Noms, I would put that on a list of great albums beginning to end.
Sure. Yeah, it's there. All right, and then MMA. I guess there's a fight tomorrow night. Does Aspen Ladd make 135 tomorrow?
No, that's a featherweight fight.
Oh, it's good.
It's a 145. She came in at weight today just fine.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask if she comes in 148, I'm going to fucking laugh my dick off.
No, she actually looked great.
All right.
Problem is, featherweight division really doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's that. It's one division because it's only one champ. So
that's right.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. We need to get some stew going on here. So we have a very special segment with LJ this time around, and that is where LJ actually has a track that he's going to play. It's got some of his guitar work on it, and we'll get to that in the meantime. Yeah, look up Cashmere Chords, Jimmy Page, Jack White, and Edge. I think you'll appreciate it. And they talk about it. I was trying to actually get to the jam of it instead of just the talking. Let's move it along. Move it along.
This sounds like a weird Brit.
Look at Edge. Edge is just confused. It's a dog that's been shown a card trick. He looks like a child getting his guitar lessons.
It's just the riff to Cashmere.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're going to be back next week, by the way. No, not next week. Week after. Halloween episode.
That's right. Spooky bitches.
Anyway, enjoy.
welcome back to another last-minute metal segment for the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast. I'm your overly cheerful host, LJ, and today, let's get down with some metal releases. First on this list is Aeon, A-E-O-N. The album is called God Ends Here, and while I don't agree with the title, I just gotta say, this is probably the catchiest death metal album I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's really tight, and it's really melodic and good, and if you want extreme, this is what you're looking for. Fuck yeah. Off to a great start already. Now, prepare yourself for narrative whiplash as I suddenly whip out on you and introduce you to this next band, Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. The album is called Sticky. Yeah, I'm not making that up. It's called Sticky. It is not a metal album, it's a rock album, but it's not bad. And it's got this, I won't say punky feel to it. It's got this bounce to it that's kind of cool. It gets you wanting to jog to it while you're listening to it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely a far cry from the band I just talked about. So yeah, go ahead and check out Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes and their album Sticky. Let's just hope it's catchy. Now, real quick, I remember the guys at the Mead Hall saying in the podcast one time they were amazed that I was able to dig into this shit pile and pull out some gems, because looking at the list, it's really difficult to see if anything is even digestible. I mean, it literally just looks like, just a bunch of names. So, you're welcome for going through this list and just listening to all these. The good thing about listening to them on a Friday is that sometimes these bands upload their entire albums to YouTube, and it makes it a lot easier to just kind of listen to the whole thing in sort of a fast-forwarded manner, or, go like, oh, okay, the intro is really cool, let's see what the middle of the album sounds like, something like that. So I'm not thoroughly listening to every album, but I am digging elbow deep into this pile of donkey shit in order to find that one kernel, that one savory morsel of edible metal. Let's continue. Alright, now this next band has a really long title for their album. So the band is called Ice Nine Kills. Alright, now the name of the album, let me look at it so I don't get it wrong. Just a minute. Hold your fucking horses. Welcome to Horrorwood. Actually, it's The Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood. Now, it's pretty cool because they have songs like The Shower Scene and Funeral Derangements, stuff like that. It seems to be this album seems to be concepts like horror movies, but it doesn't sound like it'd be a horror movie soundtrack unless it was at the end of the movie. It doesn't sound dramatic or anything, but it does have this sort of sentimentalness to it. Like, I don't know. You just have to kind of listen to it. Like, from the perspective of the victim rather than the killer. You know what I'm saying? It's the sort of softness to it, but at the same time, it is pretty heavy. So, I don't know if any of that made sense. Sort of like an anvil made of cotton candy. Fuck it, we're moving on. Next up on this list is 12 Foot Ninja with the album Vengeance. Now, I gotta say, I think I've mentioned 12 Foot Ninja before, and if I haven't, I've heard the name somewhere, and I thought I've said it. But anyways, the album has this cool heavy sound to it, but it's also got a melodicness to it. It's not very fast, but it is headbanging worthy. So if they're in the mood to rattle your brains, you motherfuckers, then buy this album, because that is exactly what you will do. It's concussion worthy. So be sure to check it out. Finally on this list, we are closing with The Grandmaster, and the album is called Skywards. You know, this got a band sound... This album's sound reminds me of Dark Element, the band that made songs The Night Sings, or even Nightwish. Nightwish sounds pretty much like this too, and I love it. It's melodic metal at its finest. Or, actually, it also reminds me of, what the hell was that band? I want to say it was Soleil Moon with that album Warrior, if they had a bigger pair of testicles, but that album was so soft that I can't really compare the two. Anyway, the artwork to this album is really cool and reminds me of the story that I'm writing. Actually, it's pretty cool. It has this really Renaissance look to it. Whoops, am I plugging my own shit? Maybe I am. Stay tuned, everybody. Anyway, speaking of plugging my own shit, My rap alter ego, Lowdown, LO''DOWN, is now got a new album on Spotify called, what else? Lowdown. And it's pretty much my favorite album so far, like in terms of hip-hop. The first half of it is your typical I'm gonna make it kind of shit. The second half of it, the last 8 tracks, are all horror themed. So, just in time for Halloween, you've got 16 tracks of delightfully entertaining material, with the first half being your typical shit, and the other 8 being, straight up horror themed. I love it. And I think you will too, if you're into that kind of shit. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. Take care. Rock the fuck on. See ya! I'd rather have 10 people steal my music and show the fuck out of it because they truly love it than 10,000 people buying it and throwing it away. Dedicated to my underdogs! I don't need your pity, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you buying my shit if you wasn't feeling me. I don't need no handouts, so I'm gonna stand out. Because I'm a man, I need to do shit on my own. Yeah! I don't need your pity, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you buying my shit if you wasn't feeling me. I don't need no handouts, so I'm gonna stand out. Because I'm a man, I need to do shit on my own. I don't want a pity party, I ain't asking for your sympathy, but I really feel like nobody is really feeling me. So I thought of quitting, then I found a beat that's hitting. Now I'm back and I am spitting here to turn you into victims. Said I wasn't ill. I was barely trying, now the game's a battlefield. So I better dying if you raise the bar a little. I'm reaching for the sky, although I took my happy pills. I'm lying, bitch, you never met me, that's why you don't get me. If you see me backstage at your gig, you better sweat me. I am fucking deadly, all you are is dead G. Shovel in my hands, your fans are paying their respects. Yeah, trust me, you ain't ready for this level of flexing. Right after this album drops, I bet you won't forget me. So better respect me, or I'm going for the throat. Wait, I mean neck, yo, hit the deck, I deal the cards up in this bitch. I don't need your pity, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you buying my shit if you wasn't feeling me. I don't need no handouts, so I'm gonna stand out. Because I'm a man, I need to do shit on my own. I don't need your pity, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you buying my shit if you wasn't feeling me. I don't need no handouts, so I'm gonna stand out. Because I'm a man, I need to do shit on my own. The fucking boogeyman of rap. You feel the boom bap, relieving the mental pressure like a spinal tap. Don't mumble in fact, not changing my music. If I gotta dumb it down for you, you're stupid. Used to rap fast, but really what's the point? You're either an AK or a musket on your joints. Not me, I'm a sniper, I'm taking my time and picking all these motherfuckers up with pinpoint precision. I started with Rip T, did a track with Heat, chilled with Lady Tycho back in 2003. Went to school with Keys, we called him JT. I'm giving him props, he sees this opportunity. I'm so proud of us, gotta give it up. Some of us are in the 30s but still coming up. But I'm still a tank, got money in the bank. And you gotta give me props cause on the mic I'm dang. I don't need your pity, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you buying my shit if you wasn't feeling me. I don't need no handouts, so I'm gonna stand out. Because I'm a man, I need to do shit on my own. I don't need your pity, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you buying my shit if you wasn't feeling me. I don't need no handouts, so I'm gonna stand out. Because I'm a man, I need to do shit on my own. Who you calling whack up with this motherfucker backpedal? Self-produced rapper and I'm also doing metal. I've been murdering angels ever since tempting fate. And if I was any lower, I would just be bass. Sober as a judge, but I still love pot. Still love horror rap, whether you do or not. 20 years in, never ever been signed. But who gives a fuck when the freedom's all mine? I'm in my zone, I do everything from home. Like a self-employed millionaire, so leave me alone. Okay, I ain't rich, even though I bring the flow. But it feels hella good to see a crowd gather though. Throwing low some dough does not mean you respect the flow. Real supporters sit up in the front at every show. These haters got heart, but it doesn't beat for rap. Y'all the shit lyrically, and by that I mean crap. I don't need your pity, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you buying my shit if you wasn't feeling me. I don't need no handouts, so I'm gonna stand out. Because I'm a man, I need to do shit on my own. I don't need your pity, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want you buying my shit if you wasn't feeling me. I don't need no handouts, so I'm gonna stand out. Because I'm a man, I need to do shit on my own. So fuck all y'all.